deserve to have the best physical, mental, spiritual. Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis.
Hey there. Thanks again for joining Mike Hollis, Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Let's say that right. Been doing this for about 6 or 7 times. I should know better. We're going to talk about wellness today. Actually, we've talked a little bit about wellness. We've hinted a couple things, talked a lot about kicking and mentally, how to prepare and just things, decisions on a normal everyday life and things that affect your life in general. But I haven't really dove into what it is that I'm really excited about, and it has a lot to do with just proactive wellness. I think you kind of already have an understanding of how passionate I am about staying as young as possible and fit and healthy. And I want to make sure that others understand the same kind of thing as well. And I can promise you, with RFK getting, confirmed, I think we are going to see, I've already kind of noticed and known for quite a while that our foods aren't great. There's not a lot of money in healthy people. So I think, as sad as it is, our government and the FDA and CDC and all these 3-letter agencies somewhat are kind of deceiving us. I don't want to say kind of, they are. They're doing things that are not good for us. And they know that. That's the saddest part about that. And so, with all the chemicals and things that are even, in our water, it's tough to even, stomach the fact that, we're drinking, if you are drinking tap water, I would recommend you stop right now. Now, depending on whereabouts in the country you're at, but our government's putting a lot of chemicals and fluorides and, chlorine and a lot of things in our waters that, it sounds good. We used to think that fluoride was great for our teeth and that's, it's going to make our teeth stronger and all that. But fluoride's not good for us. Neither is chlorine. So when you think about just drinking water or just the foods in general that we're eating, there's a lot of things that that might appear to be okay for us, but in all reality, there's a lot of hush hush. Matter of fact, even they changed the name of the red dye recently to a certain word, and all they're doing is just misleading you. It's the same red dye that they've been putting in stuff all along. They just changed the word of it. And so it's a lot misleading. And with that said, I think there's a huge interest and really a benefit of being proactive with your health and supplementing with, things that are actually going to work for you. And I'll just start with this phrase. I know you've heard the concept, you are what you eat. Well, I don't really necessarily agree with that anymore. I used to say that all the time. Yeah, you are what you eat. You eat a bunch of junk food, you're going to look like junk. But it's actually more intense, more detailed, and more specific. I believe that we are what we absorb, and that's where I'm going to kind of talk about a lot of things with regards to supplementation and the Company 3 and the proactive wellness products that we actually offer. But I don't want to get too spammy. I'm just going to talk about just the general idea about wellness and really where we're missing the boat. As a general population. And I can't emphasize enough, I believe that when RFK comes in, and clearly he's in already, he's already done some good things already, but he's going to expose a lot of things that we were not aware of. And there's going to be a lot of surprised people out there. And I believe there's going to be a huge shift in the mentality of what we're deciding. Remember, I talked about a lot, you have decisions to make on a daily basis. What kind of food are you going to put in your stomach? What are you putting in your body? That is totally under your control. You have 100% control of that. So if you're being convenient and trying to, cut corners and be cheap and all that, you're probably going to be consuming a lot of junk and a lot of junk that's not very rich, maybe not even at all, of phytonutrients. I talked about that in a previous podcast about phytonutrients being basically the medicinal value of plants. What the properties of plants can actually heal you from the inside as God intended. Okay, so with that said, you're going to see a word from our sponsor, but I'll let you know. Obviously, it's from a Company 3, and it's going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about today as well. So here's a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
At 3, we want to give you the true health benefits that you're paying for, something you can feel and see a difference quickly. Each product is packed with powerful plant-based nutrients that are combined through a proprietary curation process and then infused with innovative cellular absorption technologies to ensure the nutrients absorb into the cells for maximum wellness. The quality and effectiveness of our life-changing products is evident by their approval to be included in the well-known Prescriber's Digital Reference, or PDR. PDR has been a valuable resource to the medical doctors and providers in the healthcare community for decades. Our products are GMO-free, clinically studied, and third-party tested, all designed to support health and proactive wellness for everyone.
So with that said, that message you just heard, you kind of understand a little bit about what it is we are about at 3 International here. Our chief scientific officer is a guy by the name of Dan Gubler. You can look him up on Instagram and TikTok. He's got over probably about right now maybe 160,000 followers on each of those. So he's definitely a guy that's very well, very 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 smart. He's a scientist. He's a nerd. He's probably the nerdiest nerd that I've ever met before in my life, but that's a good thing. He's a funny nerd, but this guy has studied at Caltech. If you do any research in Nobel Prize winners in the past, you'll discover that a lot of those guys have also studied at Caltech. It's a very prestigious institution. A lot of scientists and people of that caliber attend that school. He's got Dan Gubler, Dr. Dan Gubler, we'll call him. He has a PhD in organic chemistry from Colorado State. He speaks in many different countries. He speaks different languages. The dude is just incredibly smart. Dan Gubler has also created about 70 nutritional supplements over time that do about $500 million annually. So the guy knows what he's doing when it comes to supplementation. And he's our chief scientific officer. And so he's the guy kind of in charge of what products we're actually going to have and offer. And really, part of his upbringing, his grandfather was one of a very small group that actually discovered vitamin B1, thiamine. So with that regard, he's always been involved in science, and when his grandfather was a professor at BYU, Dan Gubler would go into his office and go into his lab and just geek out, as he calls it, and that's straight up from his mouth. So he's learned a lot about science and what goes into it. Well, his grandfather came down with cancer, of course, unfortunately passed away from cancer, but it's been Dan Gubler's life mission really, is to keep things like that from happening to us. And I got to tell you, our country doesn't care. There's cancer is a big deal. It's I don't know what cause of death it is as far as the ranking. Heart disease is one up there as far as reasons for death, but cancer is up there, and there's a lot of companies, big pharma. There's a lot of companies are making a lot of money. Doctors are incentivized to prescribe radiation treatments for cancer patients, and the success rate for radiation is not great. And again, when you talk about RFK and you talk about just kind of the general idea of what really is causing cancer, what is cancer actually? I've heard a lot of different theories on what cancer really is, but I've also heard a lot of different theories on how to get rid of cancer. But again, now I've gone down some rabbit holes. You guys might think I'm crazy, but there's a lot of weird stuff happening with people who come up with incredible inventions, we'll call them, people who figure out how to make a car run on water. Well, they mysteriously die like a week later. There's a lot of weird things, and I'm not going to get too deep with you guys because I've been through some rabbit holes and read a lot about things that are happening to people who actually have humanitarian great things that are great for us as humans. But even our electricity, you look at all these old churches with these huge towers that go up and these antennas that go up in the sky. Think about what those were for. Bells. Just go again. I'm getting a little off track here, but Google bells, like bells that make sounds. Like when churches would chime bells, there's a frequency that bells emit, and there's a healthy frequency. Well, Google bell graveyard. Just for giggles, just do it. Google bell graveyard. You're going to find a lot of weird things. Like, why are all these bells, destroyed? Why were they all destroyed? And, again, there's a lot of things that we don't know. And we've been told that I think ultimately are going to come out as ultimate lies, and we're going to find the truth. And I think that proactive wellness and the position this company 3 is in right now, is enormous. And part of the reason why is because, again, RFK, and I think we're going to get a lot of truth being told about ingredients and things that are in our food and what's approved by the FDA and what's not, and things that are approved by the FDA. There's things that clearly should not be approved by the FDA. FDA doesn't approve supplements, by the way, so don't, it's not a question like that. But getting into what makes these proactive wellness supplements so effective. And I can tell you honestly, I always talk about my NFL career and just things like that. But yeah, I was put into spotlight, and I I got phone calls all the time at the offices in the Jaguar Stadium, and we had our own phone line back then. We didn't have cell phones before the late '90s or whatever. But with regards to just kind of the concept of people reaching out, companies reaching out, looking for endorsements. They want players and people who have an image and a likeness to endorse their products. And of course, I'm open-minded. I care about my health. I want to make sure that I'm doing the best for my body. As part of my job. And so back then, I was trying things. Of course, I'm very open-minded. I want to get an idea of what's out there, what works, what doesn't. And I'll be honest with you. There were so many things, even the magnetic thing you stand on, all kinds of things, modalities and supplements and liquids that you swish in your mouth and droplets and oils and all kinds of like scents and things like that I tried. And I can honestly say, yeah, I'm already kind of healthy anyway. So I wasn't expecting to feel a whole lot, but I can honestly tell you guys that I didn't really feel much of anything in these entire, 30 something years of being involved with the NFL and then post NFL. And, you still get, people on LinkedIn wanting you to try their product and endorse their product and become part of their company and this and that. And, 3 came along. And again, I've been looking, I'm like, man, I want to find something that's actually going to work. And not until 3 had I really experienced any benefit. I was with the CBD company that was, it's kind of a new concept. So I thought, well, let me get this to try. I've got some pain, obviously my lower back. I've had 4 back surgeries. I wasn't sleeping real well. And, there's a lot of things reasons why. And I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that the CBD company that I was with and the products I was trying and using, they were somewhat effective. I kind of noticed a difference, especially with the pain, and the sleep, of course. But, I just felt that there was more. And when 3 came along, I wanted to know why. I mean, these are supplements. These are vitamins. They're collagen. We got antioxidant. We got an inflammatory product. We got an immune product. We got a detox product. So we have products that are kind of put together, individually, but when they're taken together, they're kind of like a system for homeostasis, the natural way our body is meant to be. So when you take all these products together every single day, you get the best results for the best optimal, opportunity to get your body back into homeostasis. And so when I was introduced to this company and the products, I was really intrigued because the things that were said were way different than I've heard before. And the main reason, and I'll go into the absorption. I mentioned that before the break, that we are what we absorb. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of products out there, a lot of foods that we're eating right now that are going right through us without any absorption at all. 98% of the supplements on the market today have zero absorption technologies. And I guess I'll start over with the fact that with this company 3, we specialize in absorption delivery technology, cellular absorption technologies. Okay. So basically what that's saying is we're adding methods that actually allow or help assist molecules in absorbing into the cells of our body like they're supposed to. And so when you look at proactive wellness products on the marketplace right now, 98% of them don't have any, cellular absorption technologies. We actually use 12. And of those 12, 10 are exclusive to our company. Dan Gubler has the patents on these absorption technologies. He's invented them. He's discovered them. And he's created them. And so we are the only company in the world that has as many cellular absorption technologies that we do. No one else in the world does. Speaking of the world, we're actually involved in 15 countries. Our market is huge right now, and we're getting bigger. Our next phase of our markets will be in the European areas. So we're expanding. And our company is only 2 years old, But Dan Gubler's been doing this for quite a while. He's actually, got patents on molecules. He's got patents on products. 17 plus patents he's got either granted or pending. Okay, so we know what we're doing. Dan Gubler knows what he's doing. When you talk about the exploration, we're looking for phytonutrient-rich plants. We're trying to discover new molecules. There's over 600,000 species of plants on planet Earth, as we know right now, and we've only studied about 5% of the medicinal values of those plants. So there's still a ton of discovery to be had, and we considered a research and development company as well. So we are in a position where we're actually discovering molecules, and I don't honestly know if there's another company out there that's doing that. And so, with that regard, we get into the exploration process where we're finding these new nutrients and phytonutrients and plant material that we can use to our benefit of our bodies. Then we're curating products together. So we're putting phytonutrients and molecules together in a single product that work very good synergistically, that actually help each other out in not only absorption, but the final, what the molecule is really meant to do. Ultimately antioxidant or anti-inflammatory properties that they kind of cater to each other. And then you add the absorption technologies. When you have those three pillars, really, which our company's kind of founded on: exploration, curation, and absorption. Those are the three main categories that we really focus on, and that's what really makes us different. And I say us, but with regards to just the reason why these products work is because they're actually getting into our bodies at a much higher rate than anything else out there on the marketplace. That other 2%, other than the 98%, the 2% that's left in the proactive wellness supplement marketplace, they might use one or two that are patent. Or they're not in patent form right now. They're open for public use. So companies are using. Liposomal is one of them. That was actually discovered or created by the government years ago, and it was used for cancer treatments. And so, it was effectively, pushing these cancer treatments into the cells of the bodies by using these liposomes, like fatty bubbles that allow these molecules from their cancer treatments to go through the stomach and into the intestines and get absorbed how they should be. And so now it's open for the public, and so companies are using liposomal delivery. Enzyme micronization is another one that's actually out for public use, but of those two, that's pretty much it. We have 10 others that we use as well. So our company also, and just kind of talking about, again, the reason why I was like, wow, this company is incredible. These products are amazing, and I want to try them. Well, I said that in March of 2023, and to this day, I still take these supplements, and I'm a forever now. Until the company, hopefully the company will be around until I go away, because I want to make sure that I'm taking in what I think is good for my body, and I feel a difference. That's really the main story. Is I'm feeling a difference with these products. I mentioned earlier I'm kind of a healthier type of person, but I know that with these products I'm feeling much different. I'm feeling benefits of it. Here's a prime example. I spent 35 plus years of my active, lifestyle, popping Advil on a daily basis. Maybe not always daily. After I retired from football, I didn't have to take it daily, but I was still taking a lot because I had 4 back surgeries. I had nerve pain down my left leg. I had all kinds of, issues with my back. 2 levels of disc, discectomy and laminectomy on L4, L5, and L5S1. Those 2 levels of my lower back. Okay, so it's not fun, but I know, previous podcasts I've talked about, staying in shape and want to be in shape because it's better for my back. And so, with regards to how long I've been taking these products, and the Advil, I was popping Advil like candy, and I kind of had to on a daily basis with regards to even my kicking academy. I'm coaching long hours and on my feet a lot, demonstrating. I'm still kicking at the age of 52, still kicking and demonstrating my things, but I can honestly say since March 30th, sometime maybe before then, that's actually when I started taking all my products. We have an anti-inflammatory product that I love, which there's other reasons why I believe our products are decreasing the inflammation, which I'll go into in a minute. But I can honestly say and truthfully say that I have not popped any Advil at all. I've not taken Advil for close to 2 years now. Okay. Pretty close to 2 years. I've not had to take any Advil. So my point is these all natural plant-based products are taking over or replacing these pharmaceutical, chemically derived, products that, they work, but my liver is telling me stop. It's not good for my body. Kidneys are hating me. There's a lot of things that are not great about it. So getting into a little bit more reason, I mentioned a second ago about why, for me specifically, why the anti-inflammatory properties of these products are working so well for me, and not only me, a lot of other people. There's a lot of testimonies that people are sharing that are in the company that are taking the products, that even diabetics are getting off of their medications. I don't want to say, again, I don't want to say that this is your replacement for good, but there's some honest and truthful and positive things to be noted when you can actually replace a lot of your chemically derived drugs with all natural plant-based products that actually work. And that's this point I want to make. So after 35 years of taking Advil, I don't have to take that anymore. And so the anti-inflammatory properties, I mentioned epigenetics. Now, I believe that we are the only company in the world that's ever done epigenetic studies on supplement products. And epigenetics, I'll define that for those of you who might not know. I didn't either until the company announced that they had epigenetics tests done on the products. I had to kind of look it up as well. So epigenetics is basically the up or down regulation of genes in your body. So your genes always have this it's like turning on your genes or turning off your genes. And there are good genes and there are bad genes. When I say bad genes, I'm kind of referring to the inflammatory genes. Okay, there's genes that are very powerful that have a lot of control over your inflammation throughout your body. And if you don't know this, inflammation is kind of the root cause of all disease, pain, anything negative in your body. If you have high inflammation in your body, you're not going to be feeling very great or good. You're going to have a lot of issues. Okay, so if you can decrease the inflammation in your body, you're going to be doing a lot of good for your body. So with regards to the epigenetics properties, there was 4 products that we had studied against 8 different very powerful genes, and 2 of those 8 are inflammatory genes. One is called the IL-6 gene, and the other one's called the NFKB gene. Okay. In that study from a company out of New Zealand, it cost about $40,000 to do 2 separate tests because we actually didn't believe the results when they first came back. So we paid another $20,000 to get another test done. This company determined that our products are actually affecting our genes in a positive way, meaning they're turning on or upregulating genes that need to be upregulated for homeostasis, for your overall well-being, and then they're downregulating the genes, like I mentioned, those 2, IL-6 and NFKB. They're downregulating those inflammatory genes quite substantially, I'll say. And so that is another reason why I believe that the inflammation in my body has gone down so much. Now, it didn't happen overnight. A few months into it, I noticed, I'm like, man, I'm feeling good generally overall in general health. I just feel good. I'm happier. I have more energy. My brain is less foggy. I can think clearer. I sleep better. And ultimately, the pain is much less in my body, throughout my body. And I really, in my opinion, attribute it to that product called Revive. It's our anti-inflammatory. It's a curcumin product from turmeric. But not only that is the epigenetic properties that the other products have as well. Our Eternel product, which is a antioxidant product, that product alone downregulated the IL-6 gene 1,250%, and it's an antioxidant product. So go figure, right? But I think the combination of all that epigenetics and just the anti-inflammatory properties that the Revive actually provides. I'll add one more is our superoxide study. We've had a lot of clinical studies done on all of our products. The superoxide study, your body produces superoxides naturally, but an overabundance of superoxides, if your body's producing too much of them, actually can cause inflammation. And so we did a superoxide study on Revive, our anti-inflammatory product, and we discovered that it actually turned down the production of superoxide production in our body by 36%. So those 3 aspects, that the product itself with the absorption, curcumin is a very, very difficult molecule to absorb, by the way, but we have the absorption technologies that actually allow it a much better absorption rate. It's not 100%, but it's up there quite a bit, a lot better than the curcumin alone without technology. That product alone, plus the epigenetics, plus the superoxide, study that we did on that product alone, all of that combined, I believe, in my opinion, has decreased my inflammation in my body, and I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It's a night and day difference. Although it didn't happen overnight, like I mentioned before, your body, it takes time. It takes time. It's a system. It's a progression. But once you get on them and start taking them over time, your body it will be thanking you first off, but it also is absorbing the things that it really needs. And you can go back to even just our produce and foods that we're eating. And I don't even want to talk. I mentioned a couple podcasts ago about the concept of if you have a health department in your grocery store, a health food section, what does that make the rest of the store? Not healthy, pretty much, yeah. Processed food, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Not to say that the health foods section doesn't have processed foods as well, but at least a little bit more healthy. Just in general, our produce is awful as far as absorption. There was an article, I think I can't remember what magazine it was in, what publication it was, but they determined that that apples, it would take the equivalent of 18 apples. If you ate 18 apples in one day today in 2025, you would finally get the equivalent nutritional value equivalent to only one apple that was grown in 1980. That's absurd. Okay, so that really kind of points the picture at our produce and really where it comes into where the greed and the farmers, they're not replacing the soil with nutrients and minerals. They're just growing the same crops on the same soil that's been growing for years. And these plants are getting whatever they can find out of the ground. Well, think about where our products are grown in a lot of the plant material we use from a medicinal research and plant area, farm essentially, a research center in the northern jungles of Thailand. When you look at the climate, it's perfect for plants to grow. There's no pollutants in the air, the water, the soil, and it's incredibly nutrient rich soil that's virtually untouched. So these plants are getting what they're supposed to get in their plant bodies, and then of course we're consuming that, of course, after curation and absorption is actually applied. So absorption technologies, right? So you think about these supplements on the marketplace right now. Most of them, I'll tell you another sad truth, in fact, that they're actually made synthetically. I mean, that's disgusting in my mind. Like again, when you look at big pharma back in the day, it was actually kind of legit. They were making a lot of drugs or prescriptions, we'll call them, whatever, out of plant material, and they still do. But the nutrients that were from the plant material became kind of an expensive process. So when they discovered that they can actually create in the lab, they can create vitamins and different, not molecules, but just different things that are good for your body. They're not really real. They're kind of fake. They're not even like natural. Okay. So you're consuming, if you're buying products from CVS, Walmart, Costco, even, you get these huge things of vitamins from Costco and you think you're doing your body good. You're not. And honestly, that they can actually cause a lot of problems and in some cases, even death, if you're consuming synthetically made vitamins and nutritional supplements that you think are actually doing yourself any good. So with that said, I want to make you aware that that there's a lot of things out there that are not good for you. And again, going into the whole greed of our country, there's not a lot of money in healthy people. They and again, it's my opinion. You can do your research on your own. I challenge you to do that. Look and find out what these companies are doing, what they're putting into these products. What you look at the labels, and I've talked about this in the past as well. You look at labels of Doritos here in the United States versus Doritos over in Italy or something, and there's half the ingredients over in Italy that we have over here, and a lot of these ingredients you can't even pronounce. You're like, I haven't even what these things are. So there's a lot of examples that you can come up with and just kind of do some research on your own to discover that our country is not about our health, because they don't make money off of us if we're healthy. They make money off of us if we're not. And big pharma is making pills to counteract side effects from other pills. And side effects really aren't side effects. They're problems. These pills cause problems in your body. So let's make another pill that will help with the problem that pill created. You see how that's a monopoly, how big pharma can make a ton of money off of us. And insurances, well, like, yeah, no problem. Doctors are incentivized. Don't get me started on the whole COVID and the protocol in COVID, the CDC protocol in COVID. Don't get me started with that crap. Okay, this is serious now because it's going to be exposed. Okay, so you guys will discover that there's been a lot of things that have been purposely done on us to make us unhealthy, and for on purpose, because there's no money in healthy people. So I want to get rid of that. I want people to understand that there's a much better way. And I'm telling you, for my personal experience and having tried a lot of different supplements over time, that our products, from 3 International, our products are working and they're changing lives around the world. And so I challenge you to, ask me questions, hit me up. You can go to zealouswellness.com and you can see some information. I don't want to put a lot out there, but zealouswellness.com, go to that website and then fill out the form and I'll reach out to you, reach out to me. Um, you know, I'd be happy to talk to you about why it is that these products on the marketplace are not doing you any good. And I can tell you, and I can share with you a lot of information on why ours are doing us a lot of good. A lot of people are getting their lives changed from it. If you're familiar with the Physician's Desk Reference Guide, this is the bottom line. This is it should if nothing that I've said so far has not opened up your mind and your eyes to really what's out there and what's really legit, this should. Okay, if you're not familiar with what they used to call the Physician's Desk Reference Guide, it's now called the Prescriber's Digital Reference because everything's online, everything's digital now. It used to be a big book. They kind of referred to it as the doctor's Bible. And it was kind of discovered back, I think it was kind of created back in 1947, I believe. And it was kind of put together for doctors in general, because doctors were doing a lot of vetting on their own. They had to do a lot of research on products, pharmaceutical products on the market, that they want to make sure they're not going to hurt their patients or even worse, kill their patients by giving them things that they weren't really familiar with, or they didn't know if they were legit. So the PDR, we'll call it PDR.net. That's actually the website that you can go to. And well, I don't want to give it away yet. With regards to what the PDR does, they do all the vetting for the doctors. You as a company, if you want your products in that guide, you've got to do a lot of things. You got to jump through a lot of hoops. You got to go through a lot of red tape, for good reason, because the doctors have a liability. So there's a lot of liability that doctors have towards things that they're prescribing to the patients. So they better be legit. They better what you say is going to happen with this drug, what it's supposed to do, should be what it's doing. And then, of course, if there's side effects, you got to mention those too, so the doctor has an idea of what could be good or bad for their patients. Well, with all that said, and to get into that book, you have to prove that you're a company that is the company, a producer from seed to sale. You cannot white label. You can't just hire a manufacturer to make a product for you, because you don't know what that manufacturer put in their original product. If you want to sprinkle your own proprietary dust on your products and call it your own, you're buying these products from a manufacturer. You don't know what's in their products. Okay. So you can't just get into the book. You have to do a lot of things. So with all of that said, there's a ton of reasons why, there's a ton of pharmaceutical companies with their products. There's probably thousands of them, thousands of pharmaceutical products in that guide. But also, with that said, there's been some nutraceutical products in that guide in the last about 10 years or so. But again, what I mentioned before is, if your product gets into that guide, if you've done all the legwork to get your products in that guide, you have to really make sure that you are legit. And if they're nutraceuticals, they have to be effective. They have to be medicinal. Anything that's in that guide has got to be considered medicinal, meaning it does good for your body. It fixes your body from the inside. Okay. Our products, all of them. Now, that's kind of a lie. We have 9 products. 3 of the 9 products are skincare. 2 of those 3 skincare products are not necessarily needed to be in the PDR because they're like a toner and a cleanser. But the serum that we have, which actually is under patent as well, it's the world's first true neurocosmetic, that is in the PDR. You have a facial serum that's in the PDR, meaning it's a medicinal? Yes, we do. And then the other 6 products I kind of mentioned before, the multivitamin, the collagen, the anti-inflammatory, the antioxidant, the immune product, the detox product, those 6, all of them are listed in the physician's desk reference, prescriber's digital reference. That adds a ton of credibility to our products instantly. Okay. And because of that, we have over 2,000 doctors who are part of our program, who are representatives representing our products in their offices, in their clinics, in their spas, in their salon. Well, salons are, they're not doctors, but we have gym owners that are providing these products on display for people. We have doctors who are, dentists and chiropractors. We have all kinds of doctors of all different practices that understand health and proactive wellness, who are proudly displaying our products in their clinics. Okay, so that should open your eyes to like what it is that the products are doing ultimately, because of the fact that they're in the PDR, they're automatically listed as medicinal, and they're automatically listed as legitimate products that actually work. Okay, they're clearly safe and effective, and all that. So with that said, just understand that there are better ways of getting your health back than, because I've talked to people about these products before, clearly, and oh, I just eat healthy. And then I got to, kind of remind them of things about our produce. Even you can eat all the vegetables you want, but where are those vegetables grown? What kind of pesticides were put on those vegetables? How organic are they? They're probably not organic. And maybe you've heard this too, but go to an organic store and look at some of the ingredients and look at where some of these products come from. I've even seen labels in organic stores that have come from China. How are you going to say that? How do you know they're organic? I mean, come on. Okay, so they're again, and if our government and the FDA is going to approve things that we clearly know are not good or safe or effective for us, how are you going to trust labels anymore? It's a very given. Again, I'm telling you, go back and understand the fact that RFK and his sincere commitment to exposing vaccines kind of is his forte, but he's going to go into foods and water and all kinds of things that we have been misled for obvious reasons, because of big pharma and where the money is coming from, and how they can fill their pockets on our unhealthiness, we'll say. Okay, so we kind of have to open our eyes. We kind of have to understand, and it might be an eye-opening experience for you. You might be thinking I'm full of crap right now, but I can promise you I'm not. I've lived through things. I've taken a lot of drugs, and the Advil thing, and even as an NFL player, we had access to all kinds of medication. But for whatever reason, Advil was the only thing that worked for me. But I had to take a lot of it. But again, there's a lot of things out there that are meant for they help, of course, and there are things that are necessary. But I gotta tell you and be truthfully and brutally honest with you. Based on my research and based on what I've been reading up on and going through different channels other than just your mainstream medias and your Googles. And yeah, there's some good stuff on Google as well, but you have to kind of go a little deeper than that and kind of follow some trails. And once you spend time following some trails, your eyes will be opened. You'll be exposed to more truth, and you'll actually discover that our foods are really not good for us. And it's making us. And you could look in the history. Look at back in the 60s and 70s, and how many obese people did we have? The amount of obese people we have today outnumbers that by I don't even know what the percentage would be, but it's massive. We have a lot of unhealthy obese people in America today. We are the most obese and unhealthy country in the world. And we have the most not unregulated, I guess, regulations according to the FDA, which aren't really regulations, because if the FDA has proven these things that are not good for us, there's a reason why. Because the FDA, the FDA, is it FDA approved? I chuckle when people say that. Is your product FDA approved? Well, first off, FDA doesn't approve, supplements, but just if they did, they would approve a bunch of junk out there, synthetically made vitamins. They would approve those. Probably. I don't know. But my point is that you just have to be more conscious of what you're putting in your body. And I can promise you, based on my experience only, not only, but the people in the company as well, the ones that are taking the products as much as I am, who have seen incredible results from these all plant-based, natural, ingredient food sources. They are food, by the way. People say, well, can I take it with this and this and this? Well, can you eat food with this drug and this drug and this drug? Well, yeah. Well, these are food. These are, now there might be some things that you might be allergic to. I get that, that you may have to do some research on. But for the general population that doesn't have a lot of issues with any allergies and severe allergies, and I'm talking just like superficial type of things like skin allergies or whatever. But with regards to pretty extensive allergies, there might be some things. But overall, in general, you understand what I'm going with, where I'm going is the fact that these products are working. They're changing lives. People are noticing way more than any other products they've tried in the past, myself included. And what we're doing really is replacing people. A lot of people out there taking supplements. That's one of the things I ask people when I do talk about this company and these products. Are you already taking supplements? 99% of them say, yeah. A lot of people are. But a lot of people are taking the synthetically made supplements that don't do anything to the body. So do some research on your own, understand what it is you're putting in your body, and know that there's better products out there. I'm a source that you can rely on as well. And if I don't know your answers, I know a lot of people in my business, in my team that are taking the products that know a lot more about me, about the products than I do. Okay, so I'm definitely open. I love to talk about this stuff. I love to raise awareness to really what it is that's going in our bodies and why they're so unhealthy for us. So I won't vent anymore. It's kind of been it's not really a venting podcast. This is more of a realization, a truth podcast. I want you to understand that there is better things out there for you that you've been trying, and of course you may not have heard of this company or the products yet, but I'm here to tell you the company is only 2 years old. But Dan Gubler, our chief scientific officer, has been using a lot of his skills and his knowledge in creating his own products. And then, obviously with our company as well, he's the brains behind our operation. He's the brains behind all this stuff that we're doing. And he's the reason why lives around the world have been changed by our products. And so with that said, I want you to really understand that you can be healthy, and there's no time better than now. You'll start to see, I'm very, very confident you're going to start to see a lot of truth when it comes to what's really in our foods, what really are we consuming. And I am already ahead of the curve. I've got your answer. I've got what you need to take a look at least, and understand why these kind of products work, and the cellular absorption and the materials that we use, and why they're so effective, and why they're so phytonutrient rich. And the curation is a huge deal too. Don't disregard that, because putting these molecules and phytonutrients together that work very well synergistically are just really incredible feat. All of our products. One last thing. I know I'm long-winded today, but I want you to really make sure that you understand all of our products, every single one of them, have been curated at least 40 different times, meaning they've tried certain levels of ingredients, mix and matches, and putting different ingredients in there, and the different compounds and things like that to really come up with the best formulation for the products that we are now producing on a regular basis. Okay, so there's a lot of care, a lot of heart, a lot of thought put into our products, and like I said before, Dan Gubler's mission in life is to keep people healthy and make them healthy again. With regards to just the reasons why we're such an obese and unhealthy country, he wants to change that. And again, going back to I mentioned this prior podcasts about remedies. There used to be a thing called remedies. You mix honey and cinnamon, and you get this great benefit to your body. Well, those are natural food sources that are remedies. Well, we don't call them remedies anymore, because we call them pharmaceutical. Oh, we gotta we got to take this drug for that, or we got to we are getting back, and again, in my opinion, but I think we're getting back to that remedy time, where we're kind of looking for healthy, natural food sources to do the same jobs that these chemically derived pharmaceutical products have been doing for a while, but worse. Obviously, they might fix things here and there, but they're going to cause more side effects and more problems in the future for you, and eventually cause a lot of health issues, which make people pass away at an earlier age than they should. I think people lived a lot longer back in the day because of their health, honestly. So with that said, I want you to really hopefully you take a good strong look at this, and just, not necessarily my products. With 3, you can look at, just in general, just the overall idea of what our food sources are, and what kind of things are put in our vitamins and our supplements and in our foods in general, and just know what it is you're putting in your body. That's my message to you today, is just know what it is you're putting in your body, and know that there are good things out there, and they're becoming, and again, going back to my point with RFK, there are going to be a lot more good things coming with regards to food sources and things like that, because we're going to crack down on these poisons, we'll call them. There's a lot of them out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed some information. Again, I'm not the expert at all this. I just know what I know, but I'm passionate about a lot of this stuff because I'm passionate about my own health. And I'm also passionate about helping others. I've always said that I feel like I've been placed on this earth to help people. I was put in the spotlight with the NFL, and that was, maybe a way of me exposing and sharing information on a level where people, can hear it. So here we are, in Zealous Wellness podcast, and I'm sharing information that I've learned over time, and have an awesome opportunity to make sure that people become healthier and aware of what it is they're actually consuming, and know that there's a better way. So I hope you all have a good night, and we'll definitely see you next Monday night at 5:30 on a different subject. I will be getting more guest appearances, co-hosts and things like that to come on and share their experiences with you guys. Because again, I'm looking for more expert opinions and knowledge myself. And so I want to share that expert opinions and knowledge with you as well at the same time. So with that said, everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next Monday night at 5:30. Take care.
Thank you for watching Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.